Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Mrs. Julie Troy, and I am streaming here live on behalf of Computer Science Education Week, which began today. Technically, this is actually my third live stream of the day. The other two were with National Family Code Night, and we had so much fun doing Hour of Code puzzles from code.org. And I want to show you one other tool that I love to use, not only as an educator, as a teacher, but as a coder. I genuinely spend hours and hours on this platform. And, great news for you educators out there, completely free for your classroom. I don't know what more you could ask for. And they have a complete set of curriculum, professional development tools, and all sorts of fun stuff that we will take a look at the end. But I want to show you what it is, where to go, and how to get started. Alrighty. So, give me a moment here. Size this down for you a little. I have to say, I'm trying out some new streaming software. If any of you are curious, I could talk more about that later. Anyways, most of the live streams I've done have been through Zoom. I am testing out OBS and sort of a different little setup, so do bear with me. I am going to... There we go. Oh, look at that. Was it worth it? Was it worth the wait? Did you see that beautiful transition? Anyway, well, we are. Let me come up to the top here. CodeSpark.com. I cannot recommend this enough. Parents, you can definitely, get a free trial. Educators, you can also get a free trial. And unlike most platforms, they are not super specific about what type of an education account that you use. So, for example, I just use my Gmail account that I use with personal tutoring, and it works fine. But we're going to come and check out their Hour of Code activities in the spirit of Computer Science Education Week. So, of course, free for teachers and parents. They've got a couple different activities here for this Hour of Code. One of them is more geared towards the early beginners, like super beginners. CodeSpark is outstanding for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. I mean, I'm a grown adult. I still have fun. But it's really outstanding for those pre-readers. The older students, tree age, you might want to start with the create your own games. But I'm going to go ahead and just start from, very, very basics. Day one, puzzle one. So I can do this a couple different ways. You can download it in the App Store. And sometimes I do play on my iPad. My preferred way of playing is on my iPad. So for teachers, if your classroom's on iPad, awesome. This is going to be a great, great tool for you. Similarly, if your Android user, Google Play Store has got something for you. You can also just play on the web. That is an option. So I'm just going to do that. I have Chrome open. I'm just going to click play on your web browser. And while we wait for this to load up here, it might take a while. The only thing is be prepared to have a little spiel ready, because CodeSpark does want to load in all of its graphics, all of the assets, etc., etc. There's also some music that kicks in, and I don't know if you can hear it. I definitely do. So a couple of things we can do here, and I'm actually just going to mute the whole. There is a way to turn the sound off. I'll show you that in just a second. A couple of different ways to get started. So, of course, if you were parents, you could click here. However, I'm going to talk a little bit about this schools feature. So I am a teacher and I already do have a classroom. You could sign up and, like I said, very easy to get going. As you can see, my teacher account is nothing too crazy. It's not like a .edu or a state account or anything like that. But they still allow it. Good. Retrieving my data. I have a couple of classrooms. So you will see on the far left side, it's going to give me a couple of different options to choose from. That's because I have a bunch of different classes that I've created. So we can see here, I've got the ACAM school, which is actually a music school I teach at, and we've been using this curriculum with them. One specific for game design, a couple family night events we've done, which have been a lot of fun. I am going to peek inside I can load all of them. Sure, why not? I've got different games and different accounts and different progress levels in different places. So I'm just going to load them all. And so if you were a student going through this process, it would be a little bit different. What I'm showing is a little bit more for the parent educator side of things. Students, they, when you click on the schools tab here, would click on the student link and be given a classroom code, which I'll show you at the end. I just want to get into the fun stuff. So I will go ahead and load my ACAM class here. From this point on, it is exactly what the students are going to be seeing. They'll see their name, they'll see their avatar, and I have an account inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. If they have logged in previously, they're going to get this mail. They're going to get a bunch of coins, which is always nice. I'm always running out of coins. So I'm going to click here. And they're just random amounts per each day that's gone by. Thank you very much. Awesome. And here we are. So as an educator, if you're controlling this for your classroom, what I really love about the feature is you have complete control. You can, get rid of this news feature if you don't want it. If you only want them to work on puzzles that day, you can limit it just to the puzzles and take away the game and story mode. If you want there to be community, you can have community. There's so much flexibility. But I would say day one, step one, puzzle one. Come over here into these puzzles and you're going to see Gracie and play a little donut detective. With the puzzles, I'll go back one page. 2 stars is good enough, but I really encourage everybody to go for 3 stars. So here's Glitch. Here's Gracie. She was eating donuts and Glitch stole them. And Glitch is always causing problems. This first puzzle is so simple. They're just showing you how to use this interface. All they want you to do is click and drag over there. Cool. The next thing they want you to do is run the code. So we're going to click on Gracie and yum, she got to her donut. So we get 3 stars for that one. We did it very efficiently. We only used one command and she got her donut. Okay, let's go and help her collect some more. So usually by this point, if you're teaching, the kids kind of get it. They're like, oh, okay, I can do this. Great. I need 2 blocks. She has to go forward twice to get her donut. Outstanding. We just got a little something, that little thing that just popped up. That's for our game building. Oh, just kidding. That's for our puzzles. So a new action for our puzzles. Not only now do we have the walk forward, because it's not going to work. She just walked into a box. She needs to jump up. So she's already in this position, and if I wanted to, I could drag everything away and just have her jump, and she got it. It's pretty good, but not ideal. If you wanted to, you could go on. I'm going to go back. I'm one of those kids. I want it to be perfect. So you have to sequence it correctly. And what we need to do first is walk once and then jump forward once. And if you do it in just one try with both steps sequenced correctly, then you will get the 3 stars. But something like this is kind of interesting. So it really doesn't matter if she jumps all the way there. I mean, you could do forward, now jump, and then forward, and then jump. But if you just jump, that's great. 3 stars. So it is not super highly opinionated. It does sort of know when it's like good and when it's great. Here we go. All right. That's pretty good. As you're going through these puzzles, you might be thinking, okay, well, this is really, really easy. I do agree. These beginning puzzles are very easy, very satisfying, very rewarding, great for kindergartners, first graders, second graders, first-time coders, little ones. It's building a lot of confidence and introducing things step by step. Okay, so in this one, we had been going forward, or to the right. Now we kind of need to go the other way to the left. And so this is showing that when you click on these blocks, sometimes there's more than one option. So that is actually what we want, is to keep walking to the left. Here she goes. There she goes. Gets to her donut. Cool. I'm so close to being done with this one. I mean, technically, I've already completed it, but I think you sort of get the hint. You can see starting to get a little bit more complex, and so maybe you or your students want to run these individually. Maybe not. Maybe you can get it in one fell swoop. And again, I was kind of particular about when to just go and when to jump, but I'm pretty sure if you just jumped the whole way, just the same. Like there, look, that jump was unnecessary, but it's still going to give me 3 stars. Awesome. Oh, this one's tricky because it's about timing. Sometimes you can walk all the way across. Maybe jump at the end. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to try. Oh. Maybe I could walk all the way across if I timed it right. But I'm going to reset. I'm going to click that arrow up here, reset. Okay, so I think if I time this correctly, I should be able to walk across, but I'm going to wait till the balloon is just coming down. And yes. Success. Very good. Okay. Now I'm on to another set of puzzles. But usually at that point, you can say time out. Oftentimes with the younger ones, that is sort of your hour. And maybe you could show them some of the other features, such as inside Create. You can create your own foods. This is very rewarding. This is pretty fun. These are a couple of the food characters created. This was for Candyland, like cake brick bouncer game. I forget what that one was for. They're just silly. Sometimes I just like to roll the dice and go from there. But you can come in and customize these foods really particularly. We had a great time in one of our classes trying to make the foods look as much like Among Us characters as we could. And that was a pretty good time. They were much better at it than me. They had some really great ideas. This is a great tool, great resource. And then the foods and characters here that you create, you can use inside your games or your stories. These two places are honestly where my time gets really pretty sucked up. So I'm going to pause right there. And for any educators out there or for any parents that are very interested in like, okay, great, these puzzles are fun and good and all, but like, what is the kid learning? These are aligned to Computer Science Teachers Association standards, CSTA standards. A lot of state standards, including the California Computer Science standards, are very, very similar, if not almost identical to the Computer Science CSTA, Computer Science Teachers Association. Sorry, stumbling over that. CSTA. Those are sort of nationally adopted standards that often at the state level are quite comparable. So give me just a second. I'm going to pull up my Instructor Dashboard so I can show you what that looks like. So my login before was just logging straight into gameplay. On this side here, I'm going to use that same email account. Nothing crazy. Same as my live stream, just Jiffy. And by the way, if you have any questions, concerns, want to know more about STEAM coders, want to know more about CS's elementary, want to know more about Hour of Code activities, feel free to reach out to me. Oh, okie dokie. So here we are. Let me go ahead and share this part with you. So I, from the accounts page, I clicked up here on Explore, and I want to come down to this educator login, these educational resources. Let's see. So just on a topical level, this is great. This kind of recaps what we talked about. And you can actually see here, this is a great little screenshot. We see the different students. We see these words like sequencing, loops, advanced sequencing, events, conditionals, booleans, variables, studio tutorials. I think that's actually the game maker now. And little pie graphs. So that's kind of the general overview. You can click on specific lessons and see where students are in that lesson. You can click on particular students and see where they are overall, down to how many stars they've gotten, which is pretty awesome. I think it's a really great tool for being able to assess your class and where people are and who's getting it, who needs help, who does a lot of game building, who takes it more seriously, all sorts of things. And so here is where you can go ahead and get started. Even if you have no idea what's going on and are totally perplexed, you can always just download the solutions guide, which is really great. The professional development tool is also really outstanding. It is a paid service. They were offering it for free and sometimes offer it for free. So if you want more in-depth training on how to use this tool, it is available to you. I'm going to go ahead and come in here and show you what the classroom looks like. So you could connect your Cleaver account if you have one. I do not. I just got my account here. And, it does give me this warning. It does tell me, hey, you're not using a school email address. I have not gone back in and updated it. I probably should. Change it over to Steam Coders, which is where I do most of my CodeSpark teaching. And all of our instructors at Steam Coders are trained within the CodeSpark curriculum. We love it. So, as I mentioned, you can come in here and manage your classrooms, down to the level of detail that you want. I love this feature here. Turn focus features on and off, set difficulty, prevent students from playing too far. If you need a little bit more, control over your classroom, this is a really great tool, great resource. So, maybe you want everybody to come down here in Splash Clash, and you want everybody to do some multiplayer gaming. You don't want them to just go off on their own and work on puzzles. You could turn those features off. You could turn just that one on, or you could say, hey, you can do multiplayer gaming, or if you really want to do something, you could create a game and share it to the community. And that's awesome. The news, you may or may not want that to come up. Some people enjoy it. Some people find it a little bit distracting for the classroom. The one thing I do have to say, my biggest takeaway so far that I've learned is there are some game builder tutorials for very first time users. But if you click this button here that says unlock all, it is going to get rid of that game tutorial. And so the students are not going to be prompted to go through the Game Maker tutorial. And I don't know. I like it. You can get back to it, but I like that they have to do the game tutorial and see some ideas before they get started. All right, what else do I have to share from the dashboard? Oh, the progress charts. So you can see here, a lot of these kids have been working for, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 weeks. Obviously, we have one student that never claimed their account. You can see they have no progress. This is me. I was trying to give the kids a challenge, and it looks like one of our students got very, very close. So I can come in and see exactly, like inside sequencing, the games they've played, the time they've spent. This is awesome. You can see she went very, very quickly through these early puzzles. It got a little bit harder towards the end. That's good, but she's doing good. I don't know. Whoa. 20 seconds. Some of these, just flew by. And I can come in and see for all of hers, sort of, you can tell. This one was a little bit tricky. And 2 stars was good enough. And she went on. I love this. I love these detailed reports. I love being able to see what the different students have done. It is very, very cool. The other part that I really like, is the lesson planning. And this Intro to Computer Science unit is such a wonderful resource. And for those of you that are really interested in the standards, this is, the home run right here, this Intro to Computer Science unit. We'll just take a sneak peek at the overview for basically the puzzles we just did. And so what the students are thinking about is this idea of making an algorithm. I can create a simple algorithm. I can sequence commands to move my foo. So remember, all the characters, they're called foos, and they live in Fooville. In the lessons, they do prescribe sort of a format. Now, today's December 7th of 2020, and we have not had in-person classes for some time. And so some of the enriched and unplugged activities can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes they're doable. Sometimes you have to be creative. Sometimes gameplay takes over. I don't know. But certainly, I highly recommend these first ones. These are very easy to do in a remote setting. So here we're going to dive into a discussion about computers, then play an unplugged activity where you are the robot and the students give you a sequence of instructions. So that might look something like, I've got some great props here with me today. I've got my Christmas tree. There's just a couple of ornaments on it right now, but there will be more. And, if the students wanted me to get an ornament from my Christmas tree, how would I do that? And they could say, well, first thing you need to do is move your left hand. And, maybe I'd go like this. And they say, oh, no, the other one. Okay, well, can they be more specific? Oh, move the right hand. Okay, now what should I do? And if they can, it would be great if they could tell me kind of to rotate a certain degrees, and maybe I could reach over. Not quite. But, one thing we want to get them to think about is just because I get to the tree and touch the tree, does that necessarily mean that I'm at an ornament? Not really. And even if I get to the ornament, is my hand open? Do I have do I need to close my hand? How do I grab it? Do I know? There are so many levels of detail, and usually depending on the age range, I would either go kind of more or less detail, and you'll find that a lot of programs do the same. The younger they are, kind of the less detail. The older they get, the more, it's not even just, well, close your hand, like close it like this, close it like this, like close it how much, how do we know? So that's a fun little activity. Then getting to the good part, it was playing Donut Detective, levels number 1 through 8. Usually, you can turn the kids loose, show them puzzle number 1, and off they go. But maybe not. Maybe they need a little extra guidance. I find usually no. I find once they get puzzle number 1 and understand that drag and drop, they are good. They need no further help. And let me make this a little bit bigger just in case any of you are reading along there. They do provide you with slideshows. I really like them. I enjoy to use them. I find them a great resource. And these videos inside the slideshow if you choose to use them. So down at the very bottom is where we're going to see the vocabulary used and the CS standards taught. In my own work and in my own teaching, I do find that these AP-based standards which usually stands for algorithms and programming, are some of the most widely taught. They're fun, they're the logical things, they're what we think of when we talk about coding. But if you take a look at these standards, you will see that they encompass so much more than that. But this one does a really good job, again, of touching on this core concept of algorithms and programming, two of our vocabulary words, as you may see. So these slideshows are very great. I do not see the link from them here, which means they must be inside the full lesson plan. So what we were looking at was the overview. If you go into the full lesson plan, at the top, you're going to have a couple additional resources available to you. The overview, which we just saw, and the slideshows, which are beautiful. They're perfect. I could ask for nothing more. They are in Google Slides, and depending on your level of proficiency or care, I have found that sometimes the present mode is nice, but it does go into full screen, which may or may not be ideal, especially if you do have a classroom of students and you want to be able to see what they're doing or keep an eye on the chat. It's very hard to actually present from full screen. So what I like to do is I come over here to File. And now this is not my slideshow. So I need to make a copy. And I'm going to make a copy of the entire presentation so that I can present this in a slightly different format. I come up here now to File. And now that I have a copy of it, I can do a little bit more. You could add in your own ideas. You can edit this, and you will notice it does say these materials are licensed under the Creative Commons Attribute Non-Commercial License 3.0, meaning you can reuse these, you can remix these. These are available to you, and if you want to know more about this license specifically, very interesting, check it out. So not a traditional copyright. I happen to work primarily with nonprofits, so what I'm doing is certainly non-commercial. STEAM coders and CSS Elementary or Family Code Night, we are great friends with codeSpark. We love them. We love the work they do and love to support them. So back to presenting this a little bit more cleanly, what I like to do is click here, Publish to the Web. And I like to do the link version. Sometimes I use the Auto Advance Slides feature, but usually only if it's like a placeholder or, I don't know, something fun, silly. In this case, I need to control it, so this is good. What this does is it gives you this link that has the slides beautifully laid out, and you don't have to worry about seeing the slides or going into full screen. Right now I can resize this window down a little bit. Oh, hey, look. Here I am. I'm hiding behind my other window here. Or kind of bring it back up. Whatever I like. So, like I said, they're beautiful slides. What is a computer? I mean, it may sound like a silly question, but, our phones are computers. Our tablets are computers. Some of our watches are computers. It's more than just the traditional standard desktop that we used to think about. And really, a computer is any device that stores information and follows instructions from a program. Okay, great. So probably, what is a program? This video, I absolutely adore. It makes me laugh so hard, but I'm going to save that for you. You have to go watch this. And And so here we're talking more, what are these algorithms? And what is a sequence? And algorithms and sequences are how we're going to program a computer. This is always fun, algorithms in the real world. So, anything that's important that needs to be done in a specific order, is a sequence. And those sequences put together make up algorithms. Baking a cake is a fun example. The video, of course, talks about brushing your teeth, and that's a great example. The kids come up with fun things, and I think you could too. So usually from this point on, I don't really use these slides. So the Get the Glitch game implies that you have like a little glitch plushie or a printout or something. Sometimes I've used like my little Minecraft cat thing here. I've got all sorts of little toys and gadgets that I kind of keep around and accessible to me. But it can be tricky, and it can also be tricky because sometimes you may notice, like this is my right hand, and when I'm looking at it, I see my left hand, which I think is good. And so if I say right, I think this is correct. But some video editors will flip it or like flip it back. And some people are more comfortable watching themselves in mirrored mode instead of the actual mode. And then when you're talking to the kids about right and left, it can be really, really disorienting. So as I mentioned, I usually kind of go through that beginning. And once we get through the real world algorithms, they're so eager to get over to those puzzles that I showed you. So that is my little introduction to CodeSpark. I was improvising a little bit here. I kind of did it backwards, but I wanted to get to the coding first. I do so many classes, and these kids are always so eager. It's like, can we code yet? Can we code now? When do we get to code? When do we get to code? And so I'm usually just barely able to hold their attention through the slideshow, through the video, through the discussion before, okay, here we go. We're into the puzzles. And once you cut that loose, it's hard to rein it back in. But I mean that in the absolute best way possible. Well, including the little technical setup here, I am running up on my hour of code for today, and I'm going to be back every day this week with different CS hour of code lessons, ideas, platforms. Some of them I know very well, and I'm very happy and eager to share with you. Some of them are a little bit newer. They're things that I'm currently exploring and looking at. I have them lined up, but I have not done them myself. I'm saving those for a little bit later this week. And I also have a guest speaker who is going to join us, and we've been looking at machine learning and some curriculum that uses Scratch to help teach machine learning at sort of a middle school, high school, maybe elementary school level. That is going to be very exciting, planned for Friday, and I will keep you posted with the exact times. Well, today was our look at early elementary school programming options. The other one that a lot of you may be familiar with that I do recommend is code.org. They have excellent resources for pre-readers and first-time coders. If you're interested in seeing any of that, please go to csselementary.org and register for one of our National Family Code Nights. The site's geared towards schools, but you can sign up as an individual. We'd be happy to have you. And there will be 2 more sessions of National Family Code Night happening this week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific time. What's that? 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. With that, I am going to sign off here. I'm feeling a little inspired with CodeSpark Open. I want to go work on some of my games. I will show you also some more of these advanced game features and tutorials. It's way fun for kids of all ages. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. We'll be back. I will be back with more coding lessons every single day this week. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.